Let's take you back to Ora Tambo International Airport. We've been waiting for quite some time, actually, for the arrival of the South African women's cricket team. That moment has finally arrived. There they are on your screen. They're being greeted by Sports, Arts and Culture Minister Gayton McKenzie, who seems to have a bouquet for all the players. Symbolic in some ways, I imagine, because we see there that the flowers there inside those bouquets are Proteas themselves. And there's a message there somewhere, poetic perhaps, that I can't think of at the moment. We've been waiting because, of course, there's so much to be said about the team, how well they've done, and of course, what the way forward looks like, especially for some of their star players who actually in a few days' time have to jet off to Australia to play in a different tournament. But Harry Olivier has been our eyes and ears at Ora Tambo International Airport, SABC News reporter. And Harry, if you're able to hear me, the moment we've been waiting for has finally arrived.
Yes, the team just arrived. They just came through the doors. They were greeted by Minister Gayton McKenzie. 4 of the players have already gone to the Big Bash League, so it's not the full team. But since we last spoke, there's quite a few more fans that have welcomed the team. And obviously it's not the Rugby World Cup situation, but there's a lot of people that's gathered and have welcomed the team. Family members hugging the players and some of the support staff, the coach as well. So yes, they have arrived. The minister, one of the interesting things the minister said in our previous live crossing is that he's going to campaign for equal pay rights for men and women. So that should be something that will give them a boost as well, these ladies.
Absolutely. And, you know, the minister had a few things that I think were quite interesting to say, Harry, including the fact that he's going to be focusing on making sure there's equal pay for men and women across the sporting codes, not only in cricket.
Yes, that's what he said he will campaign for in all sporting codes. So yes, he's made a promise here, and I think all the national TV channels can hold him accountable, and the public can hold him accountable for that promise that he's made. And the few interactions that I've had with the minister, he will quite gladly be held accountable for the statements he made. So I think he's really going to try and make sure that there will be equal pay across all sporting codes for men and women.
Right. We're also just going through, I suppose, some of the faces of some of these players. And Harry, I wonder if you are able to, just off the cuff, speak to us about some of them. I find typically tournaments like this, the attention they receive, allow us to speak about some of the rising stars in some instances who've done well and have their careers mapped up for them if they continue on the trajectory that they've started with.
I think the one player that really made a name for herself, I don't know if you can see on the visuals, she's about on the third from the left-hand side, a lady by the name of Anneke Bosch. She bats number 3. She had the best performance, we're zooming in on her now, she had the best batting performance of this year's World Cup, when she played that innings of 74 runs against Australia, and that was the foundation for that victory. Now, the thing is, before that innings, she was a bit under pressure, and when I say under pressure, it's mostly social media, but these days the players read that, and the comments made on social media adds to the pressure, and people were saying that Morazan Cup should bat at number 3. So I think that is definitely one of the players that will, gain so much confidence from this World Cup. And next to her is the spin bowler, Nkululeko Mlamba. I'm not sure where she was one of the top wicket takers before the final. And hopefully her performance will allow her to get into a team like the Big Bash League, where she can gain more further international exposures players. I mean, in the same way, just above us, Tasman Brits. Tasman Brits was, I think, the third highest run scorer at the tournament. I know Laura Walford was the highest run scorer. And I think with her style of play, she can also catch the eye of an international team and then maybe get a contract to go and play in the 100 tournament that takes place in England, or the Big Bash League. So a lot of people, a lot of these players, have made a name for themselves and played well in this World Cup, and it can just lead to bigger, better things.
Yeah, absolutely.
The team is now off. They will do a press conference at the Cricket South Africa's offices. So this was just our arrival. I don't think we will get a chance. We'll try and get a chance to speak to players, but I don't think we will. They will give opportunities for players to speak at the press conference at Cricket South Africa's office. Ayanda?
All right, I suppose we'll have to give you an opportunity to keep up with the team to get to that conference. For now, thanks very much indeed. Harry Olivier reporting live there from OR Tambo International Airport. The South African women's cricket team arriving to a fair amount of excitement, I think it's safe to say, at OR Tambo International Airport. And this after their reaching the T20 World Cup finals. It's the second time we've made it that far. Sadly, also the second time we've lost at that stage. But nonetheless, that doesn't seem to have dampened the spirits of those who've arrived, certainly not that of the Sports Minister, Gayton McKenzie, who is present there and will seemingly give a media briefing at any moment now, officially, so to speak, as we take stock of even how some of the coaches and the support staff are feeling, given this victory. I think we can still call it that. Certainly no small feat to get to the final of a T20 World Cup. So we'll keep watching those visuals for you. As soon as that briefing starts, we'll take it live for you here on The Agenda.